Oh, I got very confused.
Looks like
we weren't actually waiting for you, Chelsea. We were waiting for your
Please say it now.
recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
There we go.
Here we go.
We are contractually obliged to say that.
Somebody has to repeat it at every recording. It's
every
like
recording.
recording in progress.
Hello, lovely people of the Tinternet. I am Strax, and welcome to Behind the Duvet with me, Strax. Today we have been mostly watching Tusks of London. Did I get that right, Josh? Jolly good. I just want to do Strax now. This is going to be fun.
You can do the whole thing of Strax.
Anyway, I'm stuck in Strax now. It's fine. So I'm not actually in this episode, but I thought that I would introduce it because why not? Who is in this particular episode?
Me? No, I'm not. I'm not in this.
You're not in. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just
We
introduce
are.
ourselves because that's what I think we normally do. Abby Louise, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Abby Louise. I directed, produced, and audio edited Tusks of London 1.
Jim.
I am James York, and I did one bit of music for Tusks of London.
And you played Ivan.
Oh, and I played Ivan. Oh my god! I completely forgot.
I'm so sorry, you humans.
Sorry,
This pitiful human scum forgot.
I played
Okay.
the villain. I played Ivan, Sir Knight, the most straightest thing I've ever played.
Yes.
I haven't drunk anything today.
Josh.
I'm Josh, and I wrote Tusks of London, The Silent Crusaders, and I also played Jack.
Chelsea Lee Lagan.
Hello, my name is Chelsea, and I play Sticker. That's me. I'm Sticker.
And Louise.
Hello, I'm Louise, and I play Winnie.
You there, boy, Mr. George.
Hello, I am George Geiger, and I'll play Sydney.
Last,
Daddy.
I think we have Catherine, who I don't believe is in this one either.
No, she's a newbie.
I'm a newbie. Hello, I'm Catherine. I'm not in this one, but I'm here.
She's in
She's-
the next one.
She's in the next one.
She will be in the next
guitar.
one. It's very confusing, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. But there we go. This is going to be fun to edit, Abby, just so you know.
You know I don't edit these
I
though.
know.
I just put them up as is. Hello, and welcome to TT Productions. Giggling a lot.
Yes, giggling a lot.
And Strax coughing up a lung.
And me coughing
Yes.
up a lung, as
Do
usual.
Centaurans have lungs?
I'm going to go towards Josh because Josh is the little dude who wrote this. I say little because I'm 6 foot.
I'm
He's
nearly
probably
your height,
not.
mate.
Oh, okay, fine. But yes, tell us, Josh, how did this come about?
Well, so basically, after Before Vastra 6 came about,
Watch
and
it if
that
you
came.
haven't.
Yes, go and listen to that because that's kind of important for this series. I listened to it, and after listening to, it was mainly the scene between Sydney and Jack near the end of the story, and then the Tower of London scene, where I sort of just went, hey, you know what? It would be fun to see these guys fight aliens, wouldn't it? And then I immediately came up with a series idea, and then went, Abby, can we do this? And then she just went, oh yeah, sure, go for it. And then I just wrote it.
Can you imagine that? I'd be like, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I say this though, Josh lacks the ability to play a character and not think of a spin-off, which I'm kind of happy with Jack, because in all fairness, I do feel like, especially as the Tusks are based off of an actual historical gang, I do feel like they deserve more recognition, and this
Yeah.
is kind of helping with that.
and that's what we love about doing Victorian London.
Victorian London stories are quite fun to do.
Yeah,
Because-
but
Because those who don't know, Tusks are actually based off of an actual gang who did dress up as fine ladies. Is not really covered in this particular episode, but I know it is in future Tusks of London episode. But they dressed up in their finery and went into big department stores and stole things. They had like special dresses that had like pockets and stuff, so they could steal the jewellery and bottles of wine or whatever.
Not Jack and Sydney, of course.
And baked
No,
beans.
mainly the girls. Mainly
I
the girls.
could pull off a dress.
This is true.
Oh,
I reckon
yeah.
Jack could as well, to be fair. But
Apart from-
they,
apart
the next
Daisy,
cover,
'cause
the
she
next
kept
cover of the
stealing fish.
episode.
Yeah, Daisy and the fish.
Stolen fish.
You don't
But
talk
yeah,
about-
they were an actual gang, and they were called the 40 Elephants. And that's basically where they come from when they start in BB6. And then obviously we were like, let's give them a spin-off. So that's how this happened.
Yeah.
We love a spin-off.
Yes, we do love spin-offs.
Especially if it's,
Spin-offs.
if
We
it's
make
historical
spin-offs.
stuff, because Abby is our historical person.
Literally, I was messaging Abby so much when writing this series, just going, "Does this make sense?" She was
It's
literally
just historically accurate. Yeah,
Is
every
this
single
historically
thing.
accurate?
because I knew if I didn't get it historically accurate, I'd be getting a smack over the head.
Verbally and physically.
Yeah.
Not so much with this episode, because this is quite compact. This is quite a good like intro episode to like the gang in general, because it doesn't tend to deal with the like department store side.
Mm.
But I'd say this now, like as soon as Josh started writing the rest of the episodes and he asked me like for a list of all the department stores that were open at the time, and we're going through it like, should we go to Debenhams or like
Debenhams.
Yeah.
Oh, Debenhams. All right.
Yeah. So George, what was it
Aye.
like coming back as Sydney? Because you've been in, you were in, was it before Vastra as Sydney?
Yeah. So I got approached to play Sydney in before Vastra, and I was like, oh, this is really fun to play, and it was a really good laugh to do, because I don't get cast as characters like that as much now. And I just like the fact Sydney is just so done in every situation. Like he has no clue what's going on. He constantly feels like the cop who's only a few days from retirement. But so when I got asked to come back, when I said, "Oh yeah, they're doing a spin-off," and I was like, "Yes, more Sydney, more Sydney." He destroys my vocal cords every time I have to play him, but I absolutely adore them, and I like the little crew. I love the Tusks crew so much. It's such a nice little
This is such
gang.
a walking sarcasm, aren't they? It's just I love the camaraderie between Winnie and Sydney. You can tell they've known each other for years because they
It's
just
the
bounce.
bickering. It's the bickering. It's my favorite line. It's just like, well, you've been down here longer than me. I was unconscious.
That was one of my favourite names.
I did love that. We're like an old married couple without actually being married.
Exactly. It's the moment where like when he's like, "Oh, tonight's a robot," and Sydney's just like, "Well, that makes perfect sense." So just slowly losing it. It always feels like he's dragged into every situation, and I love that about him. He's the one that. Because we were laughing earlier about how Jax was like, "Hey, we'll go to Sydney for advice," and Sydney's just there like, "I have no clue what's happening."
Yeah.
I love him.
Like the Madagascar
him.
penguins, just smile and wave.
Oh my god!
Definitely.
He's skipper. He is skipper. I love it. Just like Winnie analysis.
That's a good point. So Winnie, what is it like?
What's it like putting up with this fella?
Yeah, what's it?
Oh no, I love Winnie. I've got very, very attached to her. I know she's damaged and broken, and you hear all about more of that in before Vastra 6. Like she's got loads of children, she's been on the game, and she's an opium addict and everything, but she still gets up, she looks after the gang, makes sure they're all dressed and fed and everything, and keeps Sid in line, which is kind of the most important thing. You know, gives him a
Occasionally punches people in the face.
yeah, you know, you hurt my Jack, I'll beat you down. I'm not his mother, but I might as well be.
Might as well be. Yeah.
Yeah, I raised that boy, I'll beat you down for hurting him.
No, Sydney listens to her because at some point he's been on the receiving end of Winnie's punch. He's like, never again, never again.
Yeah, Yeah, he's probably said something. She's walked up behind him, given a swift slap round the back of the head. He's gone, right, no, won't do it again.
Just grabs him by the ear.
Yeah, twists his ear and sends him up to bed like a naughty child.
Sydney's like, I'm the leader of this group. Next minute, the moment when he's just there, like, actually.
Yeah, I
Come
think
here,
you'll find
come
I
here.
wear the
Tell you
trousers.
what, I'm telling you what, naughty steps, Sydney, naughty steps.
Oh dear. She certainly took Jenny under her wing in Before Vastra.
She's like, I feel like she's a little bit older than the rest of the girls in the gang, so I do feel like she's kind of the mother of the group. Like, she looks after everyone. Like,
Someone's got to look after.
especially like later in the series when we get new characters in. Mabel, like, she definitely like takes the girls under her wing and
Oh, was that
Sticker-
Mabel?
yeah, Sticker she looks after, and like, yeah, she's very much the mother figure. Even
I think that's why I feel so attached to her, because that is usually me. I am
Yeah.
I am the mother figure even before I was a mother. So
but it's just peculiar because obviously she is a mother who got rid of her children on the basis that she wasn't fit to be a mother,
yeah.
and yet
But she's
she's
somehow
mothering all
mothering.
these women. Yeah,
It's almost like she's mothering them because she feels like she couldn't do the job for her own kids, so she's trying to make up for it in some.
Diverting it.
yeah.
Let's make
And
it
bless
clear
having to look
Jack
after
has the
Sticker.
best influences, because you got Sydney, who's the he can go and do this, and you got like Winnie, who's the mothering side, so you got like a really nice balance. So Jack's getting raised right. You
I
know,
was about to say you got the two naughty kids with Jack and Sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah. the like the two siblings of the group.
So Chelsea,
Yes.
Speaking of the devil
speaking
herself.
of Sticker, how did
Aye.
you get cast as Sticker?
It was an accident. Like many of my characters before, Sticker was an accident in the nicest way
Yes.
possible. So I have said this many times, and I have said it like I'm in an interview with Raslon, and I said the exact same thing. Chelsea and Abby, and a few other wee stragglers along the way, sometimes have a Zoom. And on this Zoom, especially after midnight, it's kind of like, Gremlins. It's like, after midnight, there's a whole big
Don't treat TTs
transformation.
after midnight because we get a bit daft.
I was told about Tusks and everything, and I was told about this character Sticker, and I was reading a bit of the script about it, and then I was just like, why can I imagine it's like an Oliver Twist, a girl dressed up as Oliver Twist and has the front tooth missing, and she'd be like, all right, it's me, Sticker. That is what I did, and apparently to James I sound like Tiny from Tots TV, and that was my inspiration.
She does. But after over the train, a little.
Tiny. And then Abby was being a wee spy and sent it a recording or a text or something to Joshua, and was like, guess what? And then I get a text from Josh, and we were just sitting there having a wee recording session. I was like, what are you talking about, Jack? I don't know what you mean. I'm not doing anything. I'm just Sticker. No backstory, no family ties, nothing. It's just me, isn't it? And yeah, it just happened. And then I was cast, and I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I just play around, and then I get cast.
I kid you not, we like before the scripts come out, me and Chelsea sit down and she goes through the script and talks it through, because obviously she's Irish and I'm like 20 minutes outside London. So she goes through, like, mucked it up, and the amount of times I'll be like, it's much, not trying to like divert her from like the northern, but like
Well,
she
it's bad enough having to do
I'll
an
say
accent,
this
but
though, like, this is the one thing I love about Chelsea, and I say it every frigging time we do Behind the Duvet. If she's going to do a character, whether that's Molly, Sticker, bloody Clara, if she got to do an accent or something, she will put 100% into that accent. So because she knows obviously I'm a Cockney, she'd sit down with me, go through every line and be like, is this right? Is this how you would say Winder?
It's no harm. I do listen to how Abby talks, and I'm like, mute
even
myself
in
a wee
even
bit,
in
and I'm like,
recordings afterwards, is that all right, Jen?
"Is that right,
Yeah.
Jane?"
The regime.
After practicing,
Oh,
I'd be like, is that all right?
accents, I never been able to do them before, and it was only until I joined TT that accents became a thing, and I'm like, oh,
I can do these.
this is
I can do
I can
Cockney.
do this.
I can do
Yeah.
Welsh.
But not here. I absolutely love Sticker. I love her. She does have a soft spot in my heart. You know, she's just so she's just so ditzy.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
that
even
scene
through
between
the
you and Josh when you're running through the window. That is just like
I love that scene
window.
so much.
it's just one of
Oh.
those perfect scenes. I can just see the two characters running and crashing through the window.
You'll
It
find
just
this,
works.
Kath, because running
so
in
well.
audio, even that tiny little bit when they're running through the window.
oh yeah, like you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
Oh
to,
yeah.
I do
Welcome to the
actually
world of
stand up
breathy
and like
acting.
You
Welcome to
literally
the
have to
world of
sound. You
passing out.
literally have to sound like you're having an asthma attack. It's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous.
and like their top rule that I always say, if you don't feel like you're gonna pass out, you haven't done it right.
Mm.
That's why I
I-
always say.
I think after we recorded one of the running bits, literally after we recorded that scene, Chelsea went to me, "Have you nearly passed out yet, Fetus?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it was the pickpocketing scene. Just when you run into the alleyway just before the night appears, and we stopped recording because that scene was cut because you done the pickpocketing and then you ran, and then the next scene started, so it was a new recording, so you had to start running before the recording started. And I remember Chelsea being like, "Are you like lightheaded now, Fetus? Do you feel like you're going to collapse?" And he was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "You're doing it right then." Like,
Yeah, right. But she's just such a fun character to play. I absolutely love the bones off her. She's just so funny. But like even like now I do love a wee bit of ad-libbing during like recordings and stuff.
Fuck's
And then
sake.
I'm just sitting there and literally there was one time where I completely forgot to mute my mic. You know the part where I'm like, oh, what was it? It was the one where it's just like, oh, here you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
can't
completely
mute
exactly.
it.
I was about to mute myself and I completely forgot, and then I was just like just doing it to myself, and then it got kept in.
genuinely,
I had to delete a little giggle from Josh there.
yeah,
you-
literally.
you know, you
And
just
then,
said this
that's
little
only
like-
when
I
I
just-
realized.
I just
It was whenever
literally,
he giggled.
I
I
had
was
my
like,
earphones in. I was ready for like waiting for. I waited for a minute for the pause. Had the knife, also known as a pen, and then I was about to say my line, and then I just hear, "Here you go," and I was just
no,
pissing
but I
myself.
completely forgot. And then
Was-
whenever he laughed, I was like,
Oh shit! I was saying this now. Chelsea does have a habit of ad-libbing in the background. It's like that bit when Jack's telling Sydney about the nights, and she's going.
And she's like, "Mhm."
Oh.
The moment that breaks me in it is the pickpocket scene where they're like it's info Jack and Sticker, and they're just like, "Oh, we go to these people," and you suddenly just they're like, "I can't see them." Turn your head a little bit. Oh, I see them now. I remember listening to that being recorded. I was so glad I was muted. I couldn't stop laughing.
no,
Same
for
here.
me,
I
for me
love-
when
I
it
love- I
comes
love-
to things.
I love at the end of that particular scene is when Josh was like, "It will never work," and then Chelsea goes, "Mm-hmm," and then left it.
I completely like see whenever it comes to scenes like that. Like I physically like had like what can I use it like there I have my microphone here, and I was literally like so doing it like this because I kind of like to act out a wee bit even though I'm not seen or anything, so I was like looking over this way while my mic was still picking up, and then I physically done that in my head and I was like, oh, I can see you now. And I was just like, I had to like sometimes I just like adding that wee bit of it because even I'm just like, why not? Nobody can see me. I might as well just do it.
Just a
But no,
warning, when
she's
you
just
are
so
recording
fun.
with Chelsea, she will ad-lib.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
I don't think it's just Chelsea. I mean, we've said this before.
do
That's the
it.
beauty of when we do the recording and you've got like 5 or 6 different people on Zen doing the recording together, because you can ad lib a little bit and it helps with the edit. I find as an editor.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
me and Chelsea recently recorded Luna, and there's a scene towards the end of 2, and there's lots of action, and there's like things exploding and buildings falling, and me and Chelsea were like, "Shit!" It wasn't in the script. We were just like,
Yeah, we were
Oh,
just
no,
doing
that was-
it. It just
that's-
feels like it.
yeah.
yeah, we did a lot of ad-libbing when we recorded Melvin. I remember when we recorded episode 3 of Melvin, there was a lot of ad-libbing with us lot.
But it works when we're doing it live. This is the thing.
Yeah.
It's those little things that you might not have thought of to write in as a writer.
Mm.
Those little sort of or
Mhm.
But
Or
even
Abby,
little
Abby
things like
giggling in the background as Rani, you know,
Rani.
that sort of thing. Or
But even
just
like in
random little bits
cluster,
that-
in cluster, I mentioned it in the behind the duvet. It's just the tiny things like, oh, have you got any smelling salts? Oh yeah, over there. Okay, let me just there we are. Here you go, Jen. Like it's just little things like that that aren't in the script, and it's like you would do that naturally.
Like it's like if you can't, you obviously with audios you can't see what's happening physically.
Yeah.
But if you give even, it helps with the person you're acting alongside with, like a bit of like, you know, like a wee bit of like a hit of what you're doing. But it also hints to the audience as well because they can't see anything. So it's, you know, adding that wee bit of extra things, you know
it's
what I
almost
mean?
like a natural.
It's
kind
always
of
good to
narration.
like understanding your
act it
character
out,
and what
though.
you'll do.
Like I especially like the seasoned TTers. I know we have some like new people here, but stupid little things like when you open a drawer in audio. I don't know about you, but I will open a drawer. Like
Yeah.
I'm literally.
or like sword fighting. Oh my god, don't even start me on sword fighting.
Oh my gosh.
The Tower of London.
The amount of
There you go.
times I've had to do sword fights with Alia Itori as Jenny and Vastra, and it's just like
Yeah.
Oh.
oh,
Ah.
looking forward to it, Kath.
And then we come
Yes.
to the straightest
Considering
person of the group.
You're the
Oh,
new
yes.
in. How yeah.
Our token straight.
Blech.
We're going
Sorry.
to Jim. Go on,
We're
token.
going to Jim.
Great man.
Go on, token straight.
and then
man.
you can talk to Kath.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Jim,
This,
how was
in
it
all
playing
fairness,
token
this
straight?
isn't the straightest. This isn't the straightest role he's ever played. I hate to
Okay,
say.
No,
near
it.
enough.
no,
Surprising.
that's the wonderful Robert.
Oh,
that-
God.
Oh.
Into Insanity, people, go listen to it
Yeah.
because Jim is incredibly straight in it, and I do.
Oh, very creepy.
Oh, no,
We don't
no,
like
no.
straight Jim.
Oh, I don't like it either. Yeah,
Oh.
no, this was a really interesting.
Considering you
role.
forgot that you played him a minute ago. so, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like,
Name.
I literally was like, yes, I think of it. Oh no, I did play someone. Oh yes, I did. No, it was actually listening to it. For me, it was is that my voice? Is that me? Is that no? Because you know, as you can tell by even just looking at me and sounding me, I am camp as Christmas. So you know.
No.
Honestly, I just
No.
moved. I literally opened my mouth and a purse drops out. It's Vivian Westwood. It's Vivian Westwood. There's no Primani. But yeah, to be honest, it was great playing another villain. Because obviously I've played Queer Doctor, but also like have played heroes or like, you know, sort of. But to play the villain, is it me? Am I the villain?
What is it like
Am I the
from
problem?
one person who's played a few villains to another person? What is it like, Jim, playing a villain?
It's quite nice because you get to be quite nasty, and Ivan is nasty. He's a very nasty character to the point where, you know, you kind of think, oh, and the way that I was thinking about the character and the way it was fantastically written. I think for me, it was, this is a Baron who is just that yeah, you know, and for me, that's how I was going to portray it. But
There
no,
was lots of lines added. I hasten to add.
Yeah,
some of
I
the
know.
some of the like put downs that Jim put in. Like there's one is like you insolent imp
You
or something.
you
Kept
infinite,
calling-
you
calling
little-
it in.
I was slightly getting into my Sontaranness of sort of puny infantile. I literally was like, yes, this is someone who is a very Shakespearean knight. But I think it's a fantastic project to be a part of because it's so new and it's something that I think is kind of it's like watching something new. I'm being very sort of like
it's quite, no,
philosophical.
it's quite nice because it's not who, but it's not
Mm.
not who, not who.
No,
It's
it's
not
in the Who domain.
We've
but
literally
not-
been promoted
Universe.
as Sarah
Universe.
Jane Adventures meets the CBBS TV show Dodger, CBBC TV show Dodger.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it is definitely its own genre. So I do
It
hope
feels
people
fresh and feels familiar.
yeah, I do hope people are kind of like intrigued by the concept of it, because I remember when we first started promoting it as Sarah Jane meets Dodger, everybody was kind of like, "Ooh, that's
Fascinating.
that's an unusual concept," and it's like, well, there you go. Calf.
Mm.
Yes.
And on that bombshell, no.
Oi!
Welcome to the newest person.
Hello.
Hello. How did you find listening to it? Are you prepared enough
Really
to be in it?
No, it was really good. I mean, it is just brilliant. It sounds so professional. I think the music especially struck me as just being awesome.
Mm.
And coming to it completely new, I've gotten all the characters down straight away. You know, I understand what's going on perfectly fine. It's just really good stuff.
I can't wait to introduce your character. I say
Yeah.
she's in episode 2, and I say
Mhm.
not to give too much away, but she's playing a new member and she's called Mabel, and that's about as much as we're going to say right now.
Yeah.
We have a
the
new
thing-
member.
The new member, we're getting them all the time, to be fair, Kath. There'll be a new one next week. We're just slowly building up this bag of people. So
Well, most of them end up in prison, so we've got to get new ones in.
Do not try and
Sid and his
steal
band of
fish.
merry men and women.
I was looking back at our TT audio like rundown for the year that we done last December, where we was just like talking about what had come out and things, and Future had only just started and yada yada yada. I think only Before Vastra 4 had come out. That proves how long ago it was. And I remember we were all like, "So Chelsea, how's it feel being the new person? How many new people have we had since Louise,
Mm.
Josh, G, and Kath are
Amy.
all
Was
new
Amy new?
since then?" Yeah.
Ian.
All right, I get it. I'm not special anymore. It's all right.
You're not
No,
the
you're
Abby
one of the-
Aw.
You're one of the
You're not
creed,
the
aye.
group member.
No, Abby says she's need to stop casting me and things, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Need
It's
to
not
stop
They're
that
casting
bad.
you.
writing
things.
Undercover Eve, like it's
And then all of a sudden this happens.
yeah.
Ah, well, it is what it is, you know.
The grand.
But
That's why I have to shut up on Zooms and not talk.
But so
Yeah.
that's why we don't see you.
There it is. That's the reason.
no,
What?
they're-
Hidden selfie.
so that was episode 1 of Tusks. We have 3 more coming out, and then we're planning to do a second season as well. And then there's various spin-offs coming off of that, because we lack the
Oh,
ability
like
to
a
write
spin-off.
one thing.
TT Productions, bringing you spin-offs.
You know, it's like you know when you like sort
all
of
the
like
time.
yeah, you have like a little quilt
Yeah.
and like sort of your grandma sort of like giving another little stitch, little patchwork. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the TT production.
Well, it's just
universe.
like a Queer as well, Queer and Melvin,
My God,
like
could you imagine actually, if it was a
Paternoster
quilt
and
with what we
BV
have?
and
Yeah.
Tufts and like
Has anyone seen that meme of the guy trying to work out the conspiracy
Oh,
theory?
and he's got like the board with all the
Yeah.
and stuff.
That's
I've
going to be
connected
us
it
trying to
all.
work out like just the Tusk timeline. Okay, so before Vastra happens here, then this happens here, this will happen here.
And then you've got the
Basically,
spin-offs of Molly and yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not just
whenever-
Tusk, it's how
whenever
everything
we-
seems to be interlinked with everybody else's projects.
no,
as
that's
well.
the thing. Whenever we've recruited people into Tusks, when we had Jimmy in, because obviously he's in episode 1, and obviously we've just recruited Kath, and I've been like, right, so before Vastra 6 has got Tusks in it. However, there's also a character called Molly who was a spin-off from Before Vastra's 1 to 4. It's just like this long like
The before Vastra verse.
that is literally
You,
what we
you need to
call it.
do like they did at like the Disney thing where that you have it all on a timeline and you
Sort of like
do
what-
that.
Oh,
Someone do it.
Well, like the-
No,
the-
don't. We just need to get Abby a
The
big
TT
whiteboard.
verse.
Oh,
I'll just
Yeah.
get a
You
big
know, like a
whiteboard and
whiteboard.
I'll stand in front of me like, so BV
We have Captain America, the Queer Doctor Adventures coming soon.
Yes.
We have Iron Sticker.
actually no, before Vastra 1, there's Molly 1.
Yeah.
Hi.
I do feel like we're gonna have like a Draw My Life. I think we're gonna like have a renaissance
We
of
need
Draw
to
My
do it.
Life. That it's like
Gosh.
I
Yeah.
feel it's the Chelsea verse with everything somewhat being linked to Chelsea at this point. It's
This
going to
is
be the
true.
Chelsea verse.
Man,
true.
I
We
played
do
too
need, like,
many
a
people
council
with
of
too many
Chelseas.
accents.
Oh my god, the Chelsea multiverse. I want this.
What,
We've done
we'll
too
just have
many characters.
we'll just have Sticker, Molly, and Julia Breslin.
Oh my god.
Connor,
I want to see Sticker drunk. Sticker drunk hanging out with Julia is what we need.
All right, what's your name? I'm Julia Breslin, Overton Audio's universe. Oh, that's nice. I'm Sticker. Is that it? Yep.
This is
That's me.
Chelsea having a mental
Come on,
breakdown.
come on, I am gone.
This is what happens late at night. Every time the Zoom ends, Chelsea's just rocking back and forth in the corner doing her different voices.
I must
Man,
remember who I really
swear.
am.
Yeah, who am I now? No,
I don't know
no,
anymore.
no. Right, so
Oh.
here's the story. So it's got nothing to do with this whatsoever, but I'm gonna throw it in the end anyway. So when we were doing Scarlet Lost, Chelsea was playing Clara and she has an RP accent. And when we finished recording it, I was like, oh, you need to do this stuff for Molly because we're making a teaser trailer. And she literally messaged me and she was like, how do I talk my own accent? Like, Jen,
I don't know.
how do I
No,
talk in my
I
own
had to
accent?
record by myself, and I was like, "Only speak."
How do I speak?
What's
My
it
accent.
Irish?
How do
What
I
is
speak? And this
Irish?
was all an internal monologue that was happening, and I was like, Jen, I can't remember my own accent.
She literally done like 3 audios with an English upper class English accent, and it was like, Abby, how do I talk?
forgot my own accent.
How
But
could
you
forget your
do,
own
you do
accent?
sometimes when you're so
Very
invested
Irish.
in a character.
No,
I
it's
remember it now.
You do kind of sort of like, you kind of go, oh no, I've spoken in my own character. No, this is not my accent. No, well,
yeah. Like I do that all the time now. It's like because I use the Cockney for Jack and I use it for Quill in Melvin. I've literally it's gotten to a point now where I literally just randomly start talking Cockney and I go, no, talk normally.
Oh, don't.
fair, I had the
I do it
same
all
issue
around
with
all around the house.
Because
all around
was
the
it
house.
when I've done the blonde doctor stuff I've had to do before, I obviously gave him a posh voice, so I spent ages talking like this, and then one day after I finished recording, my mum was like, "Hey, what do you want for dinner?" I was like, "I don't know what I'd like for dinner. What do you think? What do you have
That happened to
I've
me
done
with-
this with my mother as
Yeah.
sticker. I've done this when my mother is sticker, and she's like, Chelsea, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's when you can't turn it off, isn't it? I'll be like,
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
No, it's a trigger word.
absolutely,
It's trigger
darling.
words. It's trigger words, absolutely. Because whenever Jen's like, all right, I'm like, all right. And I'm like,
All right. All
Oh,
right,
it's just-
ducks.
all
It-
right.
It's certain words, isn't it? It's like for me, for queer doctors, like Miss Erin.
We just turn it on though. This is the problem with us zooming and having these characters, because we'll just say a word like I'll just turn into Charlotte Pollard purely because you've got doctor.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Oh, it's
And on
crazy,
that
but it's
note-
fun.
Yes, on that note, yes. See,
Please wrap
and
it up,
it's
Strax.
Duvet.
Please wrap it up.
Oh my!
As they
my.
say, don't
Must be
risk
the
it.
ghosts.
Wrap your biscuit.
And on that
Wrap
note,
your fudge.
you
Shut
pitiful
up.
human scum.
I
Finish
believe
the
Strax
order,
is being
finish the thing.
assassinated currently.
We was yes. How do we finish? How do we say that? I can't remember anymore. I think we just look at the camera and go goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
I'm
having a try.
Thank you
Oh,
for
I-
joining the chaos that is behind the duvet for Tusks episode 1. More to come. And expect to see Kath actually in the next one. So
Crack on.
Sorry.